Pokemon is the largest media franchise in the entire world, and it all started back in the late 90s with Generation 1. Today we're going to rank every single Generation 1 Pokemon. So let's get into it. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ryan here from Game Essays. This channel is all about covering some of the most iconic game series ever, including The Legend of Zelda and Pokemon. We also cover a few different topics every now and then as well, but mainly centered around video games. So today we are ranking Generation 1 Pokemon, and we are focusing mainly on the design, whether it's a cool design, a cute design, but not necessarily anything like competitive viability, although sometimes that may play a factor. But for the most part, it really is about the look and feel of the Pokemon. And so if you enjoy this topic, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you get notifications about all future videos, and I'd appreciate that very much. But anyway, let's jump right into it. So starting with Bulbasaur, I think right away I'm just going to put the Gen 1 first form starters all in S tier. We've got Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, all in S tier. I think they're just so iconic, so memorable, and I mean that's really what it comes down to. It's just these are the starters. You still see them pop up. I know there's a lot of Gen 1 nostalgia, and that can be overload for people, but let's be real. These guys started it all, and they've never slowed down, really. Now, the middle forms, I think, will get a little bit more, we might be a little bit more critical of, but honestly, I think both Ivysaur and Wartortle, I would say, are an A. You know, obviously the middle, there's kind of the middle forms that often get ignored, but I think in the case here, these are very, very solid. You know, Bulbasaur is obviously about the progression of he's got a bulb, and then it's like blooming, and then obviously when we get to Venusaur, it's fully bloomed. But I really like Ivysaur's design. I think Wartortle has a very interesting design. Charmeleon, I would say, is actually a B. He's kind of like the least interesting middle form to me. Even though I know people love the Charmander line, Charmeleon, I think Charmeleon's fine, but compared to these two, these guys kind of got, more going on with them than Charmeleon. So I think Charmeleon's just kind of like a step lower. Charizard, I mean, come on. We know it's going to be an S tier. Very iconic Pokemon. Wasn't even my first pick, but honestly, I still love me some Charizard. I think Blastoise is also an S. And I think Venusaur is an S too. I love Venusaur as well. I love all three of these guys. Bulbasaur, I think Bulbasaur in later years has become way more beloved, but Venusaur sometimes does get ignored. But I love me some Venusaur, and especially the original kind of artwork of all three of these guys is just so amazing. You know, the ones that were on like the booster packs on base set way back in the day. I just love that iconic original artwork of all three of them. We're going to skip all these megas. I know that people put them in here, but we're focusing really on like Gen 1, and I would consider all the megas to be like XY era Gen 6. So we're not going to focus too much on that. Caterpie, I think Caterpie is an A. I think the anime definitely helped Caterpie become more memorable. And for that aspect, I think he's an A. He's a caterpillar, but he's got enough like kind of interesting elements to him to make him interesting. Metapod, I would probably put as a B. I don't think it's, I'd probably put it as C. Nothing against Metapod, he's just not super interesting. Butterfree, I think, is an A though. Not, again, memorable, a lot to do with the anime, not out of this world amazing, but still fun. Weedle, I don't really like Weedle as much as Caterpie, but I think Weedle's fine. Kikuna, I will also put as a C. Beedrill, I think, is... Beedrill's also a B. Not as memorable as Butterfree, not as liked as Butterfree, but still interesting. Pidgey, I think Pidgey's fine at a B. Nothing too crazy about Pidgey. Pidgeotto, you get the interesting haircut going on. I think Pidgeotto, I'd put also as a B. I'll put the full line as a B. Like, it's fine. It's nothing insane. Yeah. Rattata, I'm gonna put as a C. Raticate as well. They're fine. They're just not super interesting. You're not like super excited to have them. I mean, early game Raticate can actually be pretty awesome, but design wise, I don't think either of them are super interesting. Spiro, I would say, Spiro and Firo I would also put as a B. I think Firo's definitely got a more interesting evolution, or it's kind of a more different thing going on, but not as cool looking as, the Pidgey line. But I think they're still pretty good. Ekans, I think Ekans is a C. I mean, it's just kind of a purple snake. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. Arbok, I would say, is a little bit cooler. I'll put Arbok at a B. Pikachu, I think Pikachu, honestly, I mean, he's the mascot for a reason. He has an amazing design. It's really cute. If you see like all the promo cards and everything, like all the different promotional material that they do, they're able to make like a Pikachu of everything, right? You got Mario Pikachu cards out there. You've got Pikachu wearing all these different costumes. Like, Pikachu is just so iconic. And even if people are sick of him because he's the face of the company, there's a reason he was the face of the company and it stuck for all these years, because he has an amazing design and he's very adaptable. Now, I think Raichu is also an S tier. Now, he may not get the same amount of treatment as Pikachu, but I do think Raichu's design is really awesome. I love the lightning bolt tail, and he's just super cute. And I'm glad, he got a little bit more attention with like Alolan forms and stuff. But yeah, I'd like to see more of Raichu, but I still think Raichu's really awesome. Sandshrew, Sandshrew's pretty cute. I'd still put him at a B. Sandslash is also, maybe the Alolan one's a little bit cooler. I don't think Sandslash is bad either, so I'll put him at a B. Now the Nidorans and the Nidoran, female Nidorino, I would put at a C, but I would say Nidoqueen is an A, and I would do the same with Nidoking. Really, like, the first two forms just don't interest me that much, but the final forms are pretty awesome, so I think they deserve to be an A. Clefairy's cute. I think for that reason, at least a B for Clefairy. Clefable, never been as big on. I would probably say a C. Vulpix and Ninetales. Vulpix, I think Vulpix is at least an A, and Ninetales is also really cool looking, so I'd also put an A. Jigglypuff, I mean, I think I gotta put Jigglypuff in the S tier. Cute, memorable. Wigglytuff, definitely cuter than Clefable. Not as, I'll probably put Wigglytuff at a B, and I think I'm good with that. Okay, Zubat. Zubat's alright. I'll put as a C. I mean, all those tunnels, you get real sick of Zubat, but Zubat's not terrible. So no D designs yet. Golbat looks really weird in the original game. But, Golbat, the kind of anime design, it's not bad. Do I like it more? I like Crowbat a lot more, but we're focusing on Gen 1. I'll leave it in C tier, though. Oddish, I think Oddish is cute. Solid B. Nothing insane, but I do like Oddish. Gloom, I think the whole line is just kind of a B. Like, good, not amazing. Paris and Parasect, I guess I'd throw them at a C. They're not, they're definitely not the most memorable. Venonat's pretty cute. I like Venonat. I put it at a B. Venomoth, not as interesting to me. I'll put it at a C. So now we get to Diglett. Diglett's always been kind of meh. I put Diglett at a C, and I put Dugtrio. I know there's a lot of memes, but Dugtrio just goes to a D, because it's literally just 3 Diglett, and it's never been that interesting to me. Meowth is cool. I'd put Meowth at an A, And I think Persian, I like Persian a lot too, so I put Persian at a B. Psyduck, I would put at an S tier. Golduck, not as cool, but not terrible. I put Golduck at a C. Now Manky to me is S tier. I'm just a fan of monkeys. I enjoy Manky. It actually, I think as a kid, was actually one of my favorite Pokemon. So, I really like Manky. Primate, Primate can be funny too. I put Primate at a B. Growlithe, I think, is a cool design. I'd say Growlithe is an A. Arcanine is an S. Arcanine's just badass. It almost was a legendary, so I think it deserves to be an S tier. Now we get to Poliwag. Poliwag's cute, but I think things kind of end there. This is where kind of designs are kind of meh. I would put Poliwhirl and Poliwrath as C tier. Like, Poliwag's got the cuteness factor. The other two just aren't as interesting to me. And Poliwrath is literally just like a slightly angrier dude with bigger fists. It wasn't the most like original design. Now Abra, we got to go A for Abra. Kadabra's also an A. I love this line. Alakazam's my favorite Pokemon, so clearly it's going to be an S tier. I love this whole line. They all have kind of their own interesting thing going on. They all got kind of their own personality. I really like this line. Okay, Machop. So Machop, I think, not as cool to me as Abra. I'd probably say Machop's like a B. Machoke. Machoke I'd also put as a B, but I think you got to go at least A tier for Machamp, who is just like he's like the family-friendly Goro from Mortal Kombat. The family-friendly edition. He's pretty awesome. Bellsprout, this line I've never been too crazy about, but Bellsprout has a little bit of a cuteness factor. But I'm going to say Weeping Bell and Victory Bell are a C. Tentacool and Tentacruel. Tentacool, maybe Tentacool is like a D for me. I've just never really liked Tentacool, but Tentacruel I like a little bit more. I'd say Tentacruel is... I'll give Tentacruel a B even. It just looks more like this deep sea monster that you don't want to mess with, Geodude. I like Geodude. I think Geodude's a solid B. Graveler is a little bit less interesting at a C. Golem, I don't know where the dinosaur head came from, but Golem's still pretty awesome. I'll give him a B. Ponyta and Rapidash. I think, man, if we're talking shiny Ponyta, I would say S tier. I think Ponyta, I like Ponyta a lot. I'd give Ponyta an A. Rapidash, I'll give a B. It's not a super original design, but it does at least kind of become a fire unicorn, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this is going to start to get flooded. Hopefully I won't fully cut things off. Slowpoke, I think both Slowpoke and Slowbro are B tier for me. I've never been too crazy about them, but they're fun. Magnemite, not too crazy on Magnemite. Magneton is literally just 3 of the Magnetons. I mean, 3 Magnemites, so I give it a D. Farfetch'd, Farfetch'd, cute design. I think it deserves a B. Doduo and Dotrio. I think these are both just kind of like, they're not bad, but they're not amazing, so I just throw them in C. Seal is cute. I think Seal and Dugong are both cute, but not anything too special. I think they're solid B tier. Grimer and Muck. I don't hate them, but I don't love them, so I'm going to throw them in C tier. Shelder, I think, is really cute, so I'm going to put it as an A. Cloyster, I'm not as crazy about. I would probably say like a C. All right. Gastly, Haunter, Gengar. I would say, okay, Gastly gets an A. And then Haunter and Gengar. I think Haunter is honestly S tier. It's one of the few like middle forms that I actually think deserves an S tier. but Gengar also deserves an S tier. Sometimes I would like, we're not really doing it in order, like this is in no particular order. But I actually think Haunter in some cases is more, more of a cool design than even Gengar. But I do think Gengar is really awesome too. And Gastly, yeah, this is one of the highest ranking evolution lines for sure, outside of maybe the starters. Yeah, really, really cool. Onyx, I like Onyx. I think Onyx is a B. I wish it was a little bit stronger, but not really a factor here. Drowsy, I would say, is a C. I kind of like Hypno's design a little bit more, so I give Hypno a B. Krabby and Kingler, they're fine. I would kind of just throw them both in C. Voltorb, there's a video I did recently on Pokemon evolutions, and I think Voltorb as a concept, I would actually say, I'm not going to put it as S tier because it's not like insanely amazing design, but I think it's a great idea and in concept, so I think it deserves an A, but we got to put Electrode in D. It's got a cool shiny, but it's really just not that original. When Voltorb didn't really need an evolution is what I'm trying to say. Execute, I've never really cared for, so I think I'd put that as a D, but Executor, a little more interesting. I would say B tier. Now we go to Cubone. I think Cubone is very adorable, and I always appreciate the artwork that's on like the Pokemon cards. I would say Cubone is an A. Marowak, never been as big on. I would say it's a C. Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. I think I've always been more of a fan of Hitmonchan. I'd probably put Hitmonchan in an A. I always like the boxing gloves. I don't know what he's supposed to be. He's just kind of this weird humanoid thing, but still cool, Hitmonlee, I don't hate him, so I'd still put him at a B. Coughing and Wheezing. I think Coughing is honestly an A. I especially like his shiny, but he's just cool looking. I don't know what it is. Wheezing, not as big on, but not terrible. I would say a B. If we're rating Galarian Wheezing, it might be a different story. Lickitung, I've never hated. He's kind of interesting. He's kind of funny. I'll put him at a B. And then we get to, Rhyhorn, I would say is like a C, but Rhydon, I would probably say is an A. I think he's really cool. He was the first Pokemon ever designed. Just, very simple yet cool, interesting, badass. I like it. Chansey, I like Chansey a lot. I'd say Chansey is also an A. Tangela, Tangela's okay. I'd say C. Kangaskhan, I do like, it's supposed to be like this dinosaur kangaroo thing. I would say Kangaskhan is a solid B tier. Horsey, I think really cute. I would throw it in B. Seadra's okay. Maybe C tier. Goldeen and Seaking, not super interesting to me. I might throw them both in D. Just don't really care too much about them. I know there's some memes with Seaking, but whatever. Staryu, if we're talking shiny, would be S tier. Otherwise, I think B tier. I do like Starmie a little bit more in design. I would put it in A. Let's see. Mr. Mime. I like Mr. Mime. He's a little weird, but you know what? B tier. Scyther. Scyther's pretty awesome. So I think he's also a B. And we got Jinx. Jinx is always a little bit weird. But you know what? C tier. I don't hate Jinx. Electabuzz, I think, is really cool. I put him up there as a B tier as well. Magmar. Magmar is alright. Yeah, C tier. The butt head is a little bit weird. Pinsir. I think Pinsir's pretty awesome too. I'll put as a B tier. Tauros. I'll put it as a C tier. God, it was a pain. This was back in the Game Boy original Gen 1 days, this was the last Pokemon I caught to get 151. I would go in the Safari Zone, try all the time to get him, and it took forever. It took forever. lot of frustration, but you know, the hardness to catch keeps it from a D, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you'd think I would downvote it because of that, but whatever. Magikarp. I think Magikarp is an A. It's, you know, the useless fish. It has that personality. But Gyarados, I think he's going to be an S tier. Just one of the most badass Pokemon that they've ever made. Gyarados is pretty sweet. Okay, then we have Lapras. Lapras, I think Lapras is an A. You know, it's got that Loch Ness Monster kind of design. Kind of looks like the dude from Mario 64 in Hazy Maze Cave. Ditto, I think Ditto's really cute. I'd put Ditto as a concept. It's so simple. I put it as a B. I think Eevee is definitely an S tier. There's a reason. It's one of the most beloved Pokemon, and I love the concept of the different evolutions. And you know, I think they're all pretty good. So Eevee is an S tier. Now, what about, you know, Vaporeon, Jolteon, Flareon? You know, I think they're, you know, later on I come to really like some of the other forms, so I think they're all an A. I put all three of them. I would say of the three, Vaporeon is probably my favorite, but I do appreciate all of them, and I think they all belong in the A. But I think Eevee, just for being like the cutest one, is an S tier. Porygon I actually kind of like. I'd say Porygon is a B. I like the whole kind of computer-made Pokemon. I'm not as big maybe on the other forms, but we'll get to those generations in the future. Omanyte, you know, kind of cool. I think Omanyte has like a cuteness factor to it that I put it as a B. Kabuto, you know, Kabuto, I'd say is like a C. Oh, we didn't get to Amistar here. Amistar, not as good as Omanyte. I'd say it's a C. Kabutops is kind of cool. I'd say it's a B. Aerodactyl, you know I'm throwing a lot in a B here. And then we get to, let's see, Snorlax. Snorlax, I would say I'm going to put Snorlax as an A. I do like me some Snorlax. I don't know if he's S tier for me, but he definitely deserves to be A tier. Now we get to the birds. Articuno. I mean, I really like all three. I think design-wise, Articuno is probably the prettiest looking. I think Articuno is an S tier. But I also like me some Zapdos, and I would put Zapdos in S tier. Moltres, I mean, Flaming Bird. But design-wise, I don't think it's as cool as the other two. I would say I'd still put it in an A, though. I think Moltres still deserves to be up there as an A. Dratini and Dragonair, you know, I think they are all A tier, but when we talk about Dragonite, is Dragonite an S tier? I like Dragonite a lot, but it is kind of like this goofy, you know, I kind of like the goofiness of them too. Yeah, you know what? Dragonite's an S tier. Let's be real here. I think Dratini, Dragonair are pretty cute. And well, it's like Dratini's got the cute form, and then you kind of have this like graceful, more majestic looking Dragonair, which I think is also awesome. But then you get to S tier with, I mean, because it kind of throws you off. You think like, oh, Dragonite, it's going to be this fierce dragon, but he's kind of like goofy and he's got this fierceness, but like he's kind of adorable too. I don't know. You know what? He's an S tier. He's just awesome. There's a reason people love Dragonite. And then Mewtwo. I mean, come on. Mewtwo is an S tier. Who doesn't love Mewtwo? And, you know, I think Mew is also an S tier. I think, you know, not just the design of Mew and kind of how how Mew and Mewtwo are, like they're perfectly designed to really look like, okay, Mew's like the original kind of form, and then Mewtwo is like this genetically enhanced thing. They play off each other really well in design and everything, but also kind of the mythos behind Mew. Back in the day, it was, you know, it was snuck into the game. All the whole story behind it, it just adds to Mew. So there we go. There is all of, there's all 150 Pokemon. Everything down below is the megas that we maybe will cover on another time. But, I'll just go over at least what I have in S tier if you want to like pause and look at everything else just to recall it. But anyway, to cap things off, in S tier we have the original 3 starters: Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu, Raichu, Jigglypuff, Psyduck, Manky, Arcanine, Alakazam, Haunter, Gengar, Gyarados, Eevee. We got Articuno, Zapdos, Dragonite, Mewtwo, and Mew. So if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more Pokemon content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.